Well, it seems to me that if Diddy goes to jail, all of his enablers who stood by, watched, did nothing.
New details in Sean Diddy Combs' ongoing legal battle have been uncovered.
So the feds have now made their plan, revealed their plan, at least. It's all part of this letter.
Said nothing, reported nothing, should be right there in jail with him.
Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, that movie was more sexually charged than Diddy's credit card. I mean, seriously.
Was condemned by many online for a gross Diddy joke in her opening monologue.
The entertainment industry is facing renewed scrutiny as a high-profile trial looms. Allegations surrounding certain events have sparked widespread concern, with many in the industry watching anxiously. A prominent figure, once celebrated for their contributions to music, is now at the center of attention. As the trial approaches, a growing number of celebrities who have been associated with this individual are reportedly uneasy about potential consequences. Recent public comments have reignited discussion about the industry's past and raised questions about who else might be affected by the allegations.
September 16, 2024, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in New York City and charged with racketeering, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in relations for money. Prosecutors allege Diddy ran a criminal enterprise involving forced labor, kidnapping, and bribery. At the center of it all are so-called orchestrated erotic activities where Diddy allegedly directed men and women in X-rated performances. Many were said to be unknowingly filmed and blackmailed. Purportedly, victims, some underage, were controlled using threats, violence, narcotics, and money. Raids on Diddy's homes uncovered videos, firearms, and curiously, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Combs denies all charges, but if convicted, faces up to life in prison.
We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant.
I hit rock bottom.
At the 2025 Golden Globes, host Nikki Glaser made a comment about seeing Diddy Combs during her opening monologue, referencing his past gatherings. The remark received a mixed response from the audience, with some laughing and others appearing uncomfortable. Critics had differing opinions on the joke, with some finding it insensitive in light of the serious allegations, while others praised Glaser for tackling sensitive topics.
Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, that movie was more sexually charged than Diddy's credit card. I mean, seriously. Oh, no, I know, I'm sorry. I'm upset too. The after party's not going to be as good this year, but we have to move on.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what jokes you left out of your monologue.
Some of these would get pitched and we're like, we can't say that on CBS. We cannot say that to these people's faces. So I go move it to the Stern file. Like we can do it on Stern. And it's so nice because at some point you go, stop pitching these. We can't do them on CBS, but now there was a place for them. So, you know, it's such an incredible honor to be here at the Golden Globes, Hollywood's 7th most important night. The Golden Globes is the only show where you can see the biggest stars in movies and television joined together with the same goal, getting out of here tonight before Dax Shepard asked them to do his podcast.
That's great.
Think of it. This is the last time all of you will be in the same room together until the Diddy trial. So at one point in the show, I go, oh, look, it's two-time Holocaust survivor Adrian Brody, because he's been in 2 Holocaust films.
Right.
Yes, and I said, you know, if Adrian Brody could go back in time, he would thank baby Hitler for his career. And that
Nikki Glaser's approach differed from that of previous hosts like Ricky Gervais, who is known for his bold style. While Glaser's commentary was more subdued, it still acknowledged the ongoing controversy surrounding Seam Diddy Combs and the industry's response to the allegations. Glaser's remarks underscored the industry's ongoing reckoning with these issues and the potential implications for others.
We have to move on. No, Stanley Tucci just doesn't have the same ring to it, but
That face kind of says it all.
no baby oil this year, just lots of olive oil, okay?
Look, I found that funny because it's a Stanley Tucci joke. It's a Stanley Tucci joke. He does cooking all the time. He does cooking with Stanley Tucci. He's like the whole thing. He's like Italian olive oil. That was the joke. I didn't find it as offensive. Personally, I think everything can be jokeable. You got to try to find the laughs in it, or else it's just too depressing of a world. I mean, she is calling out, the parties aren't as good, which I think a lot of people in Hollywood are starting to feel like, oh crap, we can't have as much fun at these parties anymore because we might be called out. Now, that doesn't mean they were going as far as Diddy was going, but I do think this joke walked that line where I can see why some would be offended, but honestly, I think she could have gone even harder. I would have
Seeing Diddy Combs' social gatherings were renowned for their opulence and exclusivity, drawing a guest list of prominent Hollywood figures. Attendees included music industry personalities, actors, and fashion influencers. However, investigations have shifted focus to certain private events, with allegations emerging that these gatherings may have involved misconduct, including coercion and non-consensual activities.
Who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
Allegations of abuse have been made by over 200 individuals against Diddy Combs or others connected to him. Separately, some high-profile figures have faced their own accusations. One such accusation has been made against Jay-Z, which he denies and is pursuing counterclaims. As a result, many in the entertainment industry are reevaluating their associations.
More sex assault accusations connected to the case against Sean Diddy Combs. The latest involves hip-hop mogul Jay-Z, who issued a vehement denial. This morning, a blistering response from Jay-Z after he was accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl more than 2 decades ago. The billionaire hip-hop mogul was added to an existing civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, citing an alleged incident after the 2000 VMAs, where the victim claims she was drugged and assaulted by both Diddy and Jay-Z while a third celebrity watched.
The judge has actually agreed that the victim can remain anonymous and that the case can proceed. So there seems to be a little bit more to this case.
Jay-Z vehemently denying the claim, writing, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away." Also saying, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence." Jay-Z also attacked the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, who fired back saying, "I won't be bullied or intimidated." Busby is behind at least 20 of the sexual assault lawsuits against Combs, who calls Busby's lawsuits shameless publicity stunt.
As legal proceedings escalate, experts are cautioning celebrities to exercise discretion. Wayne Dennison, attorney for Johnny Depp in his notable case, warns that public comments can have unintended consequences. He cites Prince Andrew's interview about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein as an example of how statements can potentially worsen one's position. Gatherings to refrain from publicly commenting on the matter unless legally required to do so. This strategy seeks to mitigate potential harm to their reputation and minimize legal risks.
Dennison, who represented Johnny Depp in his successful lawsuit against his former partner, Amber Heard, told Newsweek that celebrities should not make public statements as it will only link them to Combs in the public eye and may attract more lawsuits. Now, the principal advice that I would provide celebrities known to have attended one of the now infamous parties thrown by Mr. Combs is to keep your head down, not up. Now, quite simply, there is no good reason to proactively address anything related to Mr. Combs unless and until you are dragged into the spotlight. Like Jay-Z. Now, Prince Andrew's disastrous effort to get out in front of the allegations concerning his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein should serve as a cautionary tale to those who hope to proactively persuade others that nothing untoward ever took place.
Attorney Wayne Dennison recommends that celebrities who attended parties hosted by Sean Diddy Combs avoid commenting publicly on the controversy unless required by law. This approach is intended to limit potential damage to their reputation and legal exposure.
The investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him.
It's important to note that the Southern District of New York is very selective with their cases. So if they're throwing the book at Diddy, it means they have the dump truck full of receipts to back it up. So who are all the celebrities being named? Which ones should we actually be suspicious of? And what the hell happened at these infamous parties everyone's talking about? Because not only is it worse than you think, but we've been missing the clues dropped by Diddy and his friends for years. Today, we are going to dive into the allegations and sift through Diddy's celebrity relationships to determine who is actually at risk of indictment themselves. Because what makes everything even more hazy is that Diddy was famous for throwing white parties, which were on the whole just regular parties. Like LA locals could often buy tickets to get in. But it's the after hours parties where things got jaw-droppingly nefarious.
Sean Diddy Combs' situation has drawn comparisons to Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion, where allegations of exploitation were also masked by a glamorous image. While Hefner largely avoided criticism during his lifetime, Combs' case has intensified discussions around accountability. Some argue that racial biases influence public perception and treatment of similar scandals. Others highlight differences in the nature of the allegations, including concerns around consent.
What I find that people aren't talking about enough is definitely the network of enablers that Diddy has that have allowed him, if he is indeed guilty of these things that he's accused of, that have allowed him to run rampant and fly below the radar for so long. We tend to see this same network around anybody who has substantial means, whether they're entertainers, politicians, or even drug dealers. For the past 5 months, we've seen a lot of former associates of P. Diddy coming forth, whether it's Gene Deal or Mark Curry, who I believe was one of his old producers, coming forth to say what they have witnessed when they were working or hanging out with Diddy over the years. They're all stepping forward to talk about witnessing Cassie being abused, as well as other women, most notably the mother of several of P. Diddy's children, Kim Porter, who died several years ago from pneumonia. Mark Curry alleges that he's seen Diddy break the nose of one of his ex-girlfriends. He also incriminated himself by saying that he witnessed Diddy slipping something in a woman's drink in a club. You didn't warn the woman? You didn't try to stop her from drinking it? You didn't try to talk to Diddy about
Diddy, whose real name is Sean Combs, is facing serious charges, including racketeering and transportation to engage in prostitution, with his trial set to start on May 5, 2025. The indictment alleges that Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. A federal raid in 2024 uncovered disturbing evidence, including hidden cameras, illicit substances, and adult paraphernalia, which suggests that Combs' parties were not as innocent as they seemed. The prosecution's case is expected to take at least 3 weeks, with the defense's case estimated to take around 1 week.
White and Diddy was black. I guess that was it. So, guys, what y'all think?
Guys, that's it for me. Thank you so very much for watching.
The action against Sean Diddy Combs has prompted numerous lawsuits from alleged victims, with over 120 credible cases filed to date. The victims' ages at the time of the alleged abuse range from 9 to 38 years old. These lawsuits may potentially implicate other prominent individuals, broadening the scope of the scandal.
We're now getting a closer look at the mountains of evidence federal investigators collected at the homes of P. Diddy leading up to his indictment. This includes things like guns, ammunition, electronic evidence, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant. To understand all this and how it relates to Diddy's case, we're hearing from former CIA officer and FBI agent Tracy Walder. I'm Sierra Gillespie, and this is Law and Crime News.
Major news this week out of New York, where now disgraced rapper Sean P. Diddy Combs was arrested and taken into custody. On Monday, a grand jury indicted him on multiple federal charges, including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Homeland Security took Diddy into custody at the Park Hyatt in New York. According to his legal team, Diddy's been in the city for the past week ahead of these anticipated charges. So Diddy may have had a heads up that these charges were on the way, but it wasn't a complete surprise to the rest of us either. Federal investigators issued search warrants on 2 of Diddy's homes this spring, and that's when experts told us it's not if, but when Diddy will be arrested.
Celebrities who once publicly associated with Diddy have now become silent. For instance, Mary J. Blige, a frequent guest at his events, has distanced herself, likely due to advice from her legal team. This sudden silence contrasts sharply with their previous public displays of camaraderie, highlighting the precarious nature of their situations.
Details in Sean Diddy Combs' ongoing legal battle have been uncovered. The music mogul, who is currently in jail awaiting trial on federal charges of racketeering and prostitution, to which he's pled not guilty, is facing several allegations from over 100 people. And now one of his accusers has been revealed to be Anna Kane, the ex-wife of NHL star Evander Kane, according to court documents obtained by TMZ on December 6th. Anna, who split from the athlete in 2021 following 3 years of marriage, was ordered to share her identity in the filing if she wanted to move forward with her lawsuit, in which she accuses Diddy and others of plying her with the drugs and assaulting her in a New York City recording studio in 2003 when she was 17, per TMZ. Combs has since denied her allegations, according to the documents obtained by the outlet. Anna, who shares 1 kid with Evander, didn't initially want to share her name publicly, originally filing her suit in December of 2023 under the pseudonym Jane Doe, according to a court filing viewed by Page 6. Now, the 38-year-old says she is refusing to back down from the case.
The similarities between Diddy's alleged actions and those of other high-profile figures, such as Jeffrey Epstein, are striking. These cases highlight systemic issues within the entertainment industry, including the exploitation and silencing of victims through the misuse of power and influence.
Marlon Wayans came under fire when people unearthed his 2009 tweet saying, quote, "Been doing Diddy's parties for 15 years and I must say you never let me down, Puff," unquote. But he's since claimed that he didn't even know the freaks were happening.
I've been to plenty Diddy parties. I left early. I swear to you, I've never seen the stuff that they claim to be going on. I've never seen it. I never, those aren't the type of parties that I go to. I don't frequent those type of parties. And even if I go, like I said, I've never seen any of this. I'm like, when I hear about it, when did that happen? Yes. At what time did this go down? Because I was there till 3:30. You mean 3:32? So they waited for me to leave? Like, all right, good. That Wayans nigga's gone. Yeah, he talked too much.
Granted, I don't consider leaving at 3:30 early. That's way past my bed. Makes sense that they'd wait until he left. Because what we do know from people coming forward is Diddy was selective with who he pulled into his dark and twisted inner circle. One alleged partygoer, Tony Wilrich, who's known as the Gay Crip, explained he was specifically recruited to join the freak, even though he didn't know what it entailed at the time.
PD don't reach out to you himself. He have his people reach out to you, so it can be confidential. You know what I'm saying?
So not everyone that attended a Diddy party is automatically complicit in these which might be named after Atlanta's Freaknik Festival.
I'd be surprised if he lived past the end of September, because he is a dead man walking.
Can we do all the blockchain?
They got money offering. First to kill this is $100 million to your favorite family members.
The consequences of Diddy's alleged actions will likely continue to unfold, with ongoing legal battles and public scrutiny. As more details emerge, others who were part of his inner circle may be implicated. This case highlights the importance of accountability, transparency, and justice, even among the most privileged individuals. The fallout raises questions about the darker side of fame and power. Are these allegations a sign of a larger issue or isolated incidents? Share your thoughts in the comments.